Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. Hey, James, you know what we should do today?
What's that?
We should go on down to the cafe corner and get ourselves a coffee, maybe do some shopping on Market Street, pick up some groceries. I don't know, maybe check out the old fire hall. That's pretty cool. We could do some shopping at the Grand Emporium, pick up a new cat at the pet shop, or I don't know, maybe check the zoning office at the town hall, or catch a movie at Palace Cinema. Or, we should go to that new Parisian restaurant, swing by the detective's office, because I think something weird is happening at the bank. And, at the end, we can end up at Assembly Square. What do you think?
Sounds like it could be fun, but I don't want to walk more than 3 feet.
Let's do it in Lego.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, James. Today, we're going to take a look at the lovely, lovely modular buildings as they've hit 10 years. 10 years.
10 years already.
Of Lego modulars. I know, I'm shocked by that. It feels like it's been a while.
It feels like you've only been trying to buy sets off the secondary market since yesterday.
Yes, that's right. And I get very sad at the prices of the modulars on the secondary market because I want them all.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, and they're not, oddly, they're not getting cheaper. I don't understand that. Maybe I don't understand how market works, but...
Let's take a trip down the street, down memory lane.
Should we get in the memory machine?
Does it sound like the TARDIS, or is it more like Batman?
I don't know what that was.
I don't know. That was a non-copyrighted time.
That's true. I do like
sound.
We're not going to get sued. That's very important.
Bleep, bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, we're back in time, Jeff.
Well, let's.
Jeff, it's 2007, man.
Oh man, 2007. Hey, don't you love that Aqua song?
I don't even remember.
Was that 2007?
I don't know. 2007 is yesterday for me. We have children, so there's no time. I've lost time.
Yeah, I had two kids by 20.
I still live in 2007.
By 2007. Remember 2007, as we used to call it back in the day?
Oh.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the first ever modular building to hit the market. And what I can only imagine was a massive splash of people going, I did not know that this existed, and it is now a thing that I need to have. And that, of course, was the lovely Cafe Corner.
Cafe Corner.
You know you're onto something when adult Lego fans start calling things the Cafe Corner convention. When you want to build your own custom modulars to fit beside this, and I'm sure you'd have to, as it was the only modular at the time.
Yeah. But it must have been inspiring for people. For
sure. Let's do large scale minifig scale buildings that would go on a giant street. Yeah. So instead of just a facade, which is what you usually get with a Lego building, where it's all movie set, just the front, this was a giant lift off the layers, look inside, beautiful, beautiful world.
It must have been magnificent. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember at the time.
No, it was not on my radar because, again, I think I was having children.
Exactly.
I guess my wife was having them technically, but and it's gorgeous. From the yellow and white awning on the front to the beautiful entryway, which is at a 45-degree angle, which is a fun little detail that you didn't get on. Everything was very square before, right? Lego buildings were very square.
This has architectural detail.
Mm-hmm.
That sloped roof. Yeah, it's full of little. They gave it a lot of thought. Like what's going to make this look like a real part of a city, and
right?
Historical.
But definitely they were thinking, what's the outside going to look like?
They could have gone brutalist. They chose not to. Let's make this look kind of Soviet from like the... No, it's
I'm very glad they didn't go with 70s architecture. I think that
yeah, it's all glass.
Yeah.
Just steel and glass. That's all Lego Town is. Done. Yeah, no, they went with this historical kind of it must have been a weird, maybe it's just a European thing. Maybe they were like, what feels like, the center of a city? Well, it has to be, 1,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Where in North America, we'd be like, what should this look like? Well, it should look like a mall, right?
Yeah, that's a historic building. That goes back to 1973.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's an old timer.
Were people even alive back then?
Wow.
I think I just stole that whole bit from Eddie Izzard. I think that was buried in me. Apologies to Eddie Izzard, who I'm sure is listening to the Lego podcast.
I think so.
Yeah. Yes. And then he translates them into French. No, I think a great job. I mean, it does indeed look like a hotel with a cafe at the bottom of it.
It does.
And I would stay there and I would eat there. I would be a little disappointed when I walked inside, as the rooms are quite sparse.
Right. So there's not a whole lot going on. The story is really on the outside. It's on the street.
Yeah, it's all taking place out there.
The man that's accidentally dumped the trash. That's in fact the story. The lady watching from the cafe, going, that clumsy guy just dumped over a tin of apples or whatever it is he spilled.
What you don't know is actually that lady is a paid assassin.
Oh,
right, and she has a blow dart that
is this a decoy?
She's gotten rid of. No, he is actually a spy. And he knows there's an assassination attempt. So he accidentally, on purpose, knocked over the garbage so that when he bent down, her poison dart would go over him. Tragically, somehow the dart went around the corner.
And took out the lady on the bike.
Yeah, she's sitting on that bench. She is dead.
That's terrible.
Yeah. But she died with a smile on her face, so you've got to give her that.
Was that her get-up? Maybe she was another agent who was in cahoots with the grocery dude, and that was her getaway bicycle.
Nope. Purely an innocent bystander. It's really a tragic situation.
That's horrible.
Yeah. So a lot of death, a lot of dismay.
Wow.
It's sad.
So the hotel is it's like one of those horrible fabled Hollywood hotels, or like the Chelsea Hotel. It's lots of bad things have taken place here. Really.
Well, it's actually, the whole building's a front for a drug operation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, on an international scale.
Man.
That's why it's all barren inside. There's more room for the tables for them to cut the cocaine.
This is
gotten
really dark.
Yeah. Who knew?
Well, I mean, it's going to eventually go kind of film noir, so that makes sense that we've got some really, really shady stuff.
Right. Well, and then, so if you're going to make a lot of drugs, you have to take them to market.
Absolutely.
So the next building is...
who better to take them to market than your fan?
That's right. So the fun thing about our second building, now there was debate for many years on whether this actually counted as part of the modular series, as it's a part of the Lego factory.
I see pins in the side, so it tells me it has to.
Yeah, it fit with the cafe corner standard, so it all attached together. It came out in 2007 as well, and it's modular in that you can build it up. The whole idea on this one was you could get more sets and make it taller if you wanted to. You could change the layout of where the things were, and it's, I don't know, to me it definitely is lacking that Lego polish that the professional designers gave.
There's a lot of details. There's almost too many details in a way.
Yeah.
Like the front, yeah, it looks a little cluttered. It could just be that there's a lot of window and not a lot of building in the front. That might be partly what it is. I love that they went with it. Story-wise, I don't know what is the story going on with this one, though.
I think this is a Rapunzel sitch. I think if you look inside, is that a man or a woman on the balcony there? I can't even tell.
I'm not sure.
The person on the balcony, it's a modern version. The man on the balcony is actually trapped in the tower.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Which is weird because the only thing inside this building is a set of steps. This is the one modular that I actually have no desire to own. That it's there's nothing wrong with it per se.
No.
But there's nothing right with it. I don't look at that. I don't see that and go, that is something I can relate to from the real world.
I think there's details. I like there's details, but not enough elegance in the same way. And I think that the whole left side where you've got, I don't even know, like where the gated entrance, that's kind of weird. And it takes maybe away from the building, but I guess it kept the part count down a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
But that kind of detracts from the whole, like if I just hid that part of it, the set looks a lot better.
But it's still very boxy.
It is.
It's a big box.
I like the staircase on the dual-sided staircase coming up at an angle.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
That's a cool feature. And that little, you got a little suite underneath. So, I mean, I guess it kind of has that, it fits something, but I don't know. As a whole set, it's not my favorite. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. I'd say that's fair.
Yeah. But then a year later.
Yes. 2008 brings us to the Green Grocer. I think this is where it really started to take off. This is where their designs came together very, very nicely. It's 3 floors with a roof that's removable. Beautiful, beautiful green color, which has been the bane of many people trying to rebuild it, getting all the green they need.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. They really set the standard here.
Well, and you see the emerging narrative outside there. Like there's something going on. There's a Boy Scout with a cat, a lady with a stroller, some rich man coming out of his thing. You shoo, you pedestrians, off my walk. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, I will take issue with the lady with the stroller. Yeah, she's a lady. She has a stroller. There's nothing in the stroller. So did she just buy the stroller?
Maybe the cat was in the stroller.
Maybe the cat was in the stroller.
One of those, you know?
Yeah, that's entirely possible. But they do start to have a lot more detail anyway on the inside. As there is the lovely grocer part of the structure where there is a place to purchase groceries. That's very important when you're a grocer. And then the floor above, you've got a little apartment.
Now, I'm wondering sales-wise if Lego saw, you know, with their dipping their toes with Cafe Corner and then Market Street, that maybe there was desire. Like the price point, Bricksat's listing of the price point, the RSP, it starts going up on these, and I'm wondering if they're starting to see, oh, there is a market here, and the market will actually absorb a bit more expense. So they give them more room to put in more details and to do a lot more interesting things with it.
Yeah, I would say that there's definitely something to that. You know, and they'd bring the part count as well, which is nice. I mean, there's, 300 more parts between Cafe Corner and parts. 300 more pieces between Cafe Corner and Green Grocer. And I think a big chunk of those pieces are the finishings on the inside.
Yeah.
Right, making it all a little bit more interesting.
Huh.
But
Which
there's still
well worth it.
There's still not much of a story. I mean, the story with this one is, you know, there's a place to buy groceries and there's a place to live.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if the characters have any connections between them, other than the crazy cat lady with the stroller.
You can play out episodes of Coronation Street here.
Is that, yes.
Or Sesame Street or whatever street you want to be on.
I feel like those are two very different streets you've mentioned there.
Are they? They both have a
Do you have to explain Coronation Street to our American listeners? Because I don't know if they would understand.
A long-running British soap opera. Is that essentially it?
That our Canadian Broadcasting Corporation has played every episode of.
It's
in its existence.
I couldn't tell you the
35
plot.
years, maybe? Is that how long it's been on?
Jeff, forever.
Forever, yes.
Forever.
It predates television, and it will post-date television.
Exactly. It was before radio, I think. It's been good since the Elizabethan era. They've been performing Coronation Street.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I think the plot lines have been the same the whole time.
So after 2008, they put out the Green Grocer. They just keep rolling. So I'm wondering if they were like, you know what, this needs to be an annual thing. Like, how did they decide their output on this stuff?
I think sales of Cafe Corner said this needs to be an annual thing, and that's how they've rolled since. They tend to come out in January at the beginning of the year, so there's a lot of excitement. And I know that I ask everybody for Lego gift cards.
I was just going to say, they can bank on that, so that everyone now can anticipate it. And while you're broke in January, you hopefully have just gotten all your Lego money squirreled away. And you
go out and you get something beautiful.
Yeah.
And I will say the fire brigade is beautiful.
It is.
I think they did a really good job at an old-timey fire station.
The whole brick look on the upper half of the building, it just jumps out at you. It's just got a lot of it's not realistic, but it captures a kind of naturalism. Like, it makes it look a little bit more like an active building. Yeah, exactly. It captures the essence of it in a way that it'd be hard to do, and they nail it. It looks like a building you totally want to play with.
For sure, and the details are fantastic, from using the tools and the hats on the outside to sort of be the logos of it.
Yeah.
To the 1932 up by the alarm at the top. The fact that it's dock number 3, or maybe even fire hall number 3, as it's got a little 3 on the ground. Beautiful old fire truck, which just shows you how unlikely the fire department was to put out your fire back in 1932.
Or this is 2009 in the Lego City, and they're still using the vehicle from the...
Stanley, I mean...
They don't have a lot of fires in Legoland.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very high burn point on the ABS,
true.
right?
Like, so... Guys, we're never, as citizens, we're never going to catch fire. So do we really need this?
Mostly, they probably just respond to, like, foot injuries.
Exactly.
I think that's the main thing. The Lego fire. To think, though, if they'd had this Lego fire hall, maybe, just maybe, Lego would still be making wooden toys.
It's true. I like the decisions on the outside are always, that's ones that get me. It's like, what's going to set this off? I don't know, the tree? That weak tree on the side there.
I agree. They've done better trees than that. The lamppost is very important, though.
The lamppost is awesome. I like that. But the tree, it's like you didn't knock that over every 3 seconds.
I could see you definitely having some trouble with that. And it's nice that they have the lamppost, because that sort of ties everything together from Cafe Corner to the Green Grocer.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
To the fire brigade. You've got that lamp.
I guess they decided they were like, a city has some greenery, and this city needs to at least have some municipal planning in place, which has a green zone policy or something. So I think I'd replace that tree.
It's a rather ineffective green zone policy.
It is.
I would say.
1 tree per 15 citizens.
Yeah.
I like that. And the dog's like, what are you guys leaving me behind for? It's not cool.
And it's upsetting that they didn't print a Dalmatian for this. I mean, fire dogs are very specific.
That is a lost opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean,
But is that just an American thing? Is that, I don't even know.
Probably just an American thing.
So maybe the Europeans are like,
It's probably Norman Rockwell's fault, right?
Exactly.
A lot of fire history, Norman Rockwell's fault. And again, though, okay, so beautiful job on the details in the fire brigade, but I don't know what story they're telling other than this fire hall's not really in a rush to put out any fires.
No, as you said, it's ankles and it's decapitations.
Yes,
they have to deal with that. Oh,
on the upside,
lost their head again.
In the Lego world, if you have a decapitation, you just have to find the head and reattach it.
That's all. And make sure you get it on the right way.
Unless it's a double print.
And
then you have choice.
You ask what kind of mood are you in,
how are you feeling right now?
Would you like me to? You're feeling villainous. All right.
Yeah, it's almost always the angry head that comes back on. I think it's weird how that happens.
No, there's some somebody's giving directions out front to some tourist. And they're like,
can you point me to Cafe Corner? And they're like, it's on the corner. This is just building number 4. So
you see next door?
Yeah. Just keep walking until you find it. It'll be on the corner.
And when you've run out of Lego, you've gone too far.
Yes. If you fall off of the table, you've gone too far.
I don't even think the fire truck is actually going anywhere. I think they just pulled it out for show. Just to remind everybody, hey, we got a fire truck. We're going to come out and polish it up a bit now. But then we'll drive it back in tonight.
I could see that. I think we got to go do some shopping.
All right. Where are we going to go for that?
Well, you have to go. I would go to a giant building on the corner that has the word shop out in front of it.
So it's grand.
Yeah, I would say it's grand.
It's an emporium of goods.
I would. It has to be an emporium. What would be the point otherwise?
All right, the Grand Emporium it is.
And that's where we are. And I think the Grand Emporium, you're starting to see a bit more narrative.
Right.
As we've got
window washer.
I love the window washer.
That's beautiful.
That's a really nice detail.
Yeah.
I think they nailed that nicely. Again, though, this is a nice, iconic looking building. Like you see this and you think there is something in my town that looks like that.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe not so blatant with the shop out front.
Yeah, that's a bit maybe heavy, but
is that?
It seems like request? A retrofit. Well, it might be that this is a shop building from the 1800s, but they've updated it with a gaudy sign from the 2000s.
I could see that. I could see that being an issue. It's nice that we finally have a place to put the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the first mailbox? I don't think. Do we see one before?
The fire hall had something on. No,
that's like a firebox. Right. Maybe an alarm.
Yeah. So you pull that to let them know.
Yeah.
No, we had like fire hydrants. We had other little things. And in the assassination scene, there was no fire.
No.
Or it's a mailbox. So yeah, that must be the first mailbox.
Yeah. So my question then
finally, some of the post is going out. It's been years.
So if say you worked or lived at Cafe Corner, and then you had to mail a letter to the fire brigade, you would have to then pass the fire brigade to go to the other corner,
right,
to the Grand Emporium to mail your letter. That seems really inefficient. Like you could probably just hand deliver it at that point.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe it's only for like mailing threats.
That's where the blackmail letters go.
And it's like
I gotta go send off my kidnapping letter.
They can't even CSI that. They're like, what's the postmark? It was like, well, it was dropped in the one mailbox. So
it came from next door.
It's pretty nice. I like the idea that they that there's an ice cream vendor out in front of the Emporium.
I like the size of the ice cream. That child, it's as big as the kid's head. That's as big as the kid.
That is a proper portion of ice cream. As an ice cream fanatic,
that small, long-armed man is going to fall over.
The small, long-armed man. I love that they got an escalator inside.
Yeah.
It's it's great that they accomplished that. It does take up the majority of the inside.
It would have to.
Yeah, there are escalators up to nowhere.
Right, exactly.
Like this, it turns out this mall's not doing so well. There's one small cash register where you can buy, I'm guessing, magic potions.
That seems about right.
That seems about right. And then you go up, and it's like, let's take the escalator so we can get a closer look at the crystal chandelier. That does seem to be...
It's interesting. I mean, they've got, what have they got in the window? The bridal display. There's, you can come here and get your wedding goods. Is that what that is?
I think that's it. Or I don't think it's a bridal gown. I think it's just a nice suit and a nice dress. Yeah.
So come and get your dressy stuff, and I guess that's what the shopper there has come out with, and a good understanding of how the chandelier works.
So I like that they put them on mannequins, but I'm very confused because, I mean, if you live in a Lego world and the mannequins are basically just people without faces, wouldn't you just put a face on them?
Yeah, you just go with a Sharpie and bring them to life like a Frosty situation.
Right. I could see a lot of graffiti happening if with the kids.
Ooh, these
in this world.
angry mannequins.
But also, they're Lego people. They're made of plastic. Like, wouldn't you just hire some out of work people to stand in the window?
It's true
as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's some marketing decisions being made where they could have done better. They could have just done better.
That was a clever idea, though.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. And you got to feel for the kid because he's got a really wonky scooter.
Right.
That he's got to ride.
I don't even know how this thing functions.
I think it exists just so Marty McFly can come by and rip the handlebars off and make it a skateboard.
They're anticipating it. They see where this is all going.
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of anything else to do with it.
No. Yeah, I like the look of it. I like the it fits in. It's like one of those things you just have to have it, right?
Yes. And they've employed a janitor, and this one does not appear to be assassinated. So I think I feel like this is on the up and up. This is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a place to shop. Again, if you want to shop.
Or the window washer is an agent looking in.
It could be that. Maybe that's what it is.
And the man with the newspaper out front, or the letter that he's about to post, is in fact just waiting for a hit. Maybe
there's a lot more going on than we can see.
It could be.
I do like the billboard at the top of the building as well. I think they did a really nice job on that. But again, there's not a lot going on inside. You're going up an escalator to nowhere, and that's just weird.
Yeah.
In general, it's nice they have a giant empty shopping mall, yet they still won't allow a pet store inside.
No, you can't have that.
No, you can't have that.
You need to keep the segregated pets.
Yeah, so that's what they did. They said, no, you have to go over to that row of what is clearly a residential neighborhood.
Right.
And put a pet shop in the bottom,
so all the people with allergies, you move in here.
I bet the neighbors really appreciate the pet store existing. Yes.
Yeah. And the ceaseless animals playing out front who've escaped the pet store, apparently.
I feel like that's just bad inventory management.
That could be it.
On the cover photo there.
Let's let the animals out, and then we'll leave the toys out front, too, for people to buy, because that won't end up bad.
I see no problem with that.
Yeah.
But I would only go to a pet store if it had just had a couple parrots, one dog, one cat, and a fish.
And a fish.
I think that's
suitable.
That's like, how is this guy paying his rent, really?
Is the parrot alive?
Is this another front?
It probably
is.
Yeah.
So the pet store, which came out in 2011, the fun thing with it is it's different than most of the modulars in that it's actually two modular buildings in one, because you can separate the two. I don't know. Would the one be called a brownstone?
I would want to call it that, but I don't know if technically that's what it is. But yeah, that's what I would.
Using our authoritative architectural knowledge.
Well, it's Sesame Street. It's what it's.
It does. That's the one. See, that they should have had a garbage can out in front of that.
Right.
So that Oscar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ready to make an appearance at any point.
Yeah, and a giant nest in the back. This was one of my first modulars, the pet shop. So it has a special place in my heart, as I managed to get it before it was retired. I feel like that's important.
Yeah. And how was it to build?
A lot of fun. I've never had a bad experience building a modular. They do a good job throwing little details in. Like this one, they've got it's either a yellow frog or a chew toy for a dog.
I think there's a frog. It says it's supposed to be a frog.
There is a frog, but I think it's not a frog. I think it's a chew toy frog because it's quite yellow and it's sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, that seems like ill-advised product placement.
But again, they do have terrible inventory management here.
It's true.
So, there's a lot going on.
From the point at which you saw it and thought, I need that in my life, to the point at which you built it, did it really live up during the build process? Were you like 100% satisfied with, and also did it prove to be more difficult or less difficult than you kind of thought?
It proved to be exactly where I thought.
Okay.
Difficult was.
Which was what, heinous?
No, it was. They're not. They're. I mean, at the end of the day, it's Lego. You follow the steps, right?
So it was just tedious.
It was not tedious at any point.
Oh,
I enjoyed the whole process. It was a long build.
Right.
I enjoyed the whole process. I think there's so much whimsy. There's so much fun. There's a lot of nice part usage overall. I really enjoyed making the pets sign. That's a technique I had not used in my life up to that point. So that was a lot of fun. In general, yeah, it was a lot of greatness.
And with the small children in your house at that point, how was that?
They had gone to bed.
Yeah.
This is it's a post-child build.
Put it back on the shelf.
Yeah. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Again, there's not much happening inside. You've got your bottom floor. That's nice. The other building they're renovating, so you just end up with somebody painting a wall, which is not.
Is that what that dude's holding?
Yes, it's a paint roller.
I thought it might be some kind of animal catching device.
No, he is not.
That makes way more sense now to me.
He is not an inventory procurement for the pet store. That would be a weird choice. These are simple buildings, and again, the story is somebody's renovating here and somebody lives here. So there's not a lot of story going on.
I don't know. Again, this could be somehow tied to the dark mobster that controls this area, and this could just be his like secondary home, the home away from home.
I could see that.
I don't know.
I will say, so this was 2011 we said.
Yeah.
So one of two things happened here. Either it's the least popular modular they ever did, because I think you can still get it at my local Lego store,
or it's just so popular that they
overproduced way too much of it.
Right.
Or it uses a lot of parts. There's not a lot of weird parts, so they can just keep making it. All of those are possibilities, but I'm going to go with actually it being the least popular in that it's two smaller buildings instead of one grand building.
And their part count came down and the price, I think, stayed on par.
Yeah, that's always a contentious part.
Yeah, because it was like green grocery is like $2,300, then it's down to $2,200, then it's down to $2,100, then it's down to $2,000. Just tightening it up every time. You know what, Jeff? There was a lot more to talk about with this than I thought there would be. We thought, there's 12 sets. This is going to take, no time. This will be like a 20-minute episode.
Yeah, I was like, man, I hope we get up in your half an hour.
No. I think we're halfway through. This is probably a good point for us to take a break and come back next episode and continue our journey through LEGO Modular.
Sounds good to me.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, you can go and visit Jeff over on Twitter.
I'm at Still Sorting.
Or leave a message over at breakingdads.com.
Breakingdads.com?
Breakingdads.com. Leave a message. Let us know what you think so far. And until then, otherwise, we'll see you next week. I've been James.
And I'm still Jeff.